Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gandharvika Kedari, Gandharvika Kedari, Gaura Hari. Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Ananta Devi, Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Ananta Devi. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, शिला प्रभुपाद की, ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की, गौर प्रेमानंदे. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devin Saraswatin Vyasam Tado Jayam Budiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Mukham Karati Vachalam Pankam Langayati Girim Yatkapat Pamahamandi Sri Gurati Nataram. Hare Krishna, welcome all of you for this wonderful Sunday feast Bhagavatam class. Very happy to see all of you. So before I actually speak, I seek all the assembled Vaishnavas' blessings. And though I am not qualified, I am given this opportunity. So you all need to pray for me so that I can speak something in line with our parampara. Series have been slokas have been discussed here in the temple on the 5th canto, 5th chapter, and Lord Rishabhdev has been giving so many instructions. This is for the whole humankind. Yesterday, His Grace Dvijahari Prabhu was giving class, and the whole week was happening the 5th canto, 5th chapter, the various lectures. And His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, he has given around more than 70 lectures on this 5th canto, especially on the 5th chapter. He has given more than 60 lectures. So we can understand how valuable these verses by Lord Rishabhdev. So we will start this verse, the all auspicious Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 5th chapter, verse number 15. Putram cha shishyam cha nrupo gururva. Putram cha shishyam cha nrupo gururva. Malloka kama mad anugrahataha. Malloka kamo mad anugrahataha. Yittam vimanyur anushishyad atagnan. Yittam vimanyur anushishyad atagnan. Na yojayat karmashu karma mudhan. Na yojayat karmashu karma mudhan. Kam yojayan manujo artham labheta. Kam yojayan manujo artham labheta. Nipatayan nasta drusham higatte. Nipatayan nasta drusham higatte. Prabhujis, anybody would like to? Putram cha shishyam cha nupor gururva. Malloka kamo mad anugrahataha. Yittam vimanyur anushishyad atagnan. Na yojayet karmashu karma mudhan. Kam yojayan manujo artham labheta. Nipatayan nasta drusham higatte. Vaishnavas.
Ayojayet karmasu karma mudhan.
विद्यमानयोर् अनुशिष्यत् अथ ज्ञानान् न योजयेत् कर्मसु कर्ममूढान् काम योजयान् मनुजो अर्थं लभेत
काम योजयान् मनुजो अर्थं लभेत
तयान् नष्टदृशं हि गर्ते
निपातयान् नष्टदृशं हि गर्ते. Vaishnavis, anybody? Word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Putran the sons, Cha and Sishyan, the disciples, Cha and Nrupaha, the king, Guru, the spiritual master, Va or Matloka Kamaha, desiring to go to my abode, Mat Anugrahartaha, thinking that to achieve my mercy is the aim of life. Ittam, in this manner, Vimanyu, free from anger, Anushishyat, should instruct, Atat Jnan, bereft of spiritual knowledge, Na, not, Yojayat, should engage, Karmashu, in fruitive activities, Karma Mudhan, simply engaged in pious or impious activities, Come, what? Yojayan, engaging, Manujaha, a man, Artham, bereft, Labheta, can achieve, Nipatayan, causing to fall, Nashtadrisham, one who is already bereft of his transcendental sight, he indeed, Garte, in the whole. Translation. If one is serious about going back home, back to Godhead, he must consider the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the summum bonum and chief aim of life. If he is a father instructing his sons, a spiritual master instructing his disciples, or a king instructing his citizens, he must instruct them as I have advised. Without being angry, he should continue giving instructions. Even if his disciples, son or citizen, is sometimes unable to follow his order. Ignorant people who engage in pious and impious activities should be engaged in devotional service by all means. They should always avoid fruitive activity If one puts into the bondage of karmic activity his disciple, son, or citizen, he is bereft of transcendental vision. How will one profit? It is like leading a blind man to a dark well and causing him to fall in. Purport. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita 3.26. Na buddhi bedam janayed ajnanam karma sanginam joshayed sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharan. Let not the wise disturb the minds of the ignorant who are attached to fruitive action. They should be encouraged not to refrain from work, but to walk in the spirit of devotion. Tat Sat. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshmurum Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utapatakamulam Sri Guru Vaishnavamsya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunadanvitam Tam Sachivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Cha Vishakanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostume Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Krupa Sindhubhya Yevacha Patitanam Papanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Putram cha shishyam cha nrupo gururva malloka kamo mad anugrahartaha itam vimanyur anushishyad atagnan na yojayat karmashu karma mudhan karma yojayan manajo artam labheta nipatayan nastadrisham higarte. Hare Krishna. So there is a wonderful message for us today on this auspicious morning. Among the assembled Vaishnavas, there are fathers and there are mothers also, and there are gurus, maybe Shiksha gurus, and of course there is no king here. So Lord Rishabhadev has he has actually chosen 3 types of gurus here at least. So the father, guru and the king. How they are supposed to preach, he has very nicely advised, as I have advised, you are supposed to preach. That means we should not preach on our own mental concoction. So we should take as from the Shastras. The Supreme Lord appeared as Lord Rishabhadev and he preached all his 100 sons, keeping Bharata as the chief, and he is the eldest. And also he instructed, the rest of the 99 sons, he said, you should not be envious of your eldest son. Normally in this Kali Yuga, this envy is more prominent. And for no reason, we simply envy people. Like if anybody is more advanced than us, or what to speak, usually in the Bangalore city traffic, if anybody, overtakes you, we are envious of you. Isn't it? And if you overtake him, you think it is the greatest achievement. And this is that's why. And here he says karma mudas. We are actually this kind of people are mudas. So that is not recommended in the Shastras. Lord Rishabhadev advised, I am going to speak now. You all supposed to hear and follow your eldest brother Bharata. So Bharata Maharaj, he heard it, he has already been chosen by the Supreme Lord. And he has got his own priority, and rest of the 99 sons are supposed to respect him. And also the Supreme Lord appeared in this material world, he himself as Krishna, and he instructed Arjuna. He spoke Bhagavad Gita. And there are various scriptures which we are supposed to follow. We cannot follow our own mental concoction. So here, the very first line it says, if one is serious about going back home, back to Godhead, he must consider the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the summum bonum, and the chief aim of life. We also have a chief aim of life, but it is not chief, it is cheap. We have so many chiefs of aims of life, like achieving a kind of money. I am earning now 1 lakh per month. I want to earn, I should double it by next year, and by next year it should triple it, and even I can go to Tirupati also. I can have a deal with Lord Balaji. So we may have a different mental concoctions. We need to check whether it is properly approved, whether our Guru Maharaj has approved it, or is it anywhere mentioned in the Shastras. If you have a glance on this 5th chapter, there is one famous words. The very first sloka, it is very, very wonderful. We keep hearing these words from so many sannyasis and Prabhujis in the lectures. Even Srila Prabhupada quotes it often. I will read it for you. With the translation, it's so meaningful for us. Rishabha Uvacha, this is 551. Nayam deha deho bhajam nurloke Kashtan kaman arhate vidbhujam ye tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam suddhayed yashmad brahma saukyam tu anantam. Lord Rishabdeva told his sons, my dear boys, of all the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even for dogs and hogs that eat stool. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified, and when one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness and which continues forever. This is called Brahma Saukyam Anantam. But whatever Saukyam is available, we are compromising with that in this material world. Say, we had a two-wheeler some time back, now I have a car. Now we think that is Saukyam. But we do not know, car also gives lot of problems. So maybe the car owners, they may be well knowing, like, to maintain a car, it is very costly than actually using it. You need to maintain, car insurance, emission test, and also its registration certificate. And for you also there should be driving license. If you are missing any one of these, then you are caught by the police. So we think it is a Saukyam. I can take all my family, I can take all my friends for a joyride, I can enjoy a lot. But all of a sudden car breaks down. We get it repaired and we'll still feel, this is a Brahma Saukyam. Oh, very good. And even a boy takes his girlfriend on a bike and, he is very proud and going, 100 km/h. He feels it is a Saukyam. But Shastra says it is not the Saukyam. Devotional service to the Supreme Lord Giridhari, this is the Brahma Saukyam. And also here it is mentioned, it is a Anantam. Means it is an unlimited bliss. We can enjoy it forever. And there is no question of, diminishing. And this is called Brahma Saukyam. It is what Rishabhadev in the first verse in the 5th chapter he had explained here. So while going through all the 5th chapter, and we can able to extract some highlights, I could able to find out 3 main points that I just like to share with you. The 3 points, number 1, human being should not work hard like dogs and hogs for sense gratification. But we are doing this. Shastra says no for this. Number 2, the human life is especially meant for the revival of our relationship with the Supreme Lord. And third point is very, very important. Out of all these 3, this is the third point is very important. Serving a Vaishnava means serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These are the sum and substance of the 5th chapter of the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Number 1, human beings should not work hard like dogs and hogs for sense gratification. Number 2, the human life is especially meant for the revival of our relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the third one is serving a Vaishnava means serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And basing on these 3 points, this 5th chapter is focused. And now I am going to take you a lecture which I heard from various senior Vaishnavas, including His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu and His Grace Rasanand Prabhu and various other sannyasis. If one is serious about going home back to Godhead, he must consider the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Samam Bonam, and chief aim of life. The word Samam Bonam we keep hearing in Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, there are no exact translation from Sanskrit to English. Sanskrit is the mother of all the languages. And from Sanskrit, all the languages evolve. So even a small word has got a deep meaning. Here the word Samam Bonam, it has the meaning, the highest good is called Samam Bonam. The all good, the all best, the all auspicious is called in a Samam Bonam. So that should be our chief aim of life. And I like to share here that His Divine Grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, he made his chief line just to fulfill the desire of his Guru, His Divine Grace, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And the day when he met, he gave him instruction. So only the Guru can able to sense that who is going to fulfill the desire, who can able to do that. Only the spiritual master can able to grasp it because he is the Guru. Then the day when upon seeing Srila Prabhupada, he said, "You English speaking man, you are supposed to preach this cult of Krishna consciousness in the Western countries and connect as many souls as possible." This was the first instruction. Even after 10 years when Prabhupada met his Guru, he gave the same instruction. So he compared 10 years back and now it is getting tallied and there is no change in the instruction. He took it as a chief aim of his life. And for that, he worked day and night and he sacrificed so many things. Even family life also he had given up and he took even sannyasa also by the mercy of the Guru Parampara. Now here we need to understand that to consider the mercy of the Supreme Lord is not so easy. And if anybody can able to fulfill the desires of the spiritual master, then he can get the mercy of Giridhari. To achieve that, Srila Prabhupada has done wonderful services, sacrifices. All these days we heard the success or victories of Srila Prabhupada. Today we are also going to learn what are the defeats of Srila Prabhupada. Actually, behind the success there is a failure also. There are many defeats also. Now we all also have to learn so many things from that. Now how Srila Prabhupada had got series of defeats, how he converted into series of success also we can know. Maybe coming 5-10 minutes I can share some of the incidents that took for Prabhupada what are all the defeats. Initially, like when Prabhupada wanted to go or when he went to the Western countries, these smarta brahmanas and so-called scholars, they all commented Prabhupada. If anybody is crossing the ocean, the Sapta Samudra, if anybody crossing, and he will be bereft of spiritual knowledge. Because in the other side of the ocean, the Western countries, we keep seeing all Mlechas, Yavanas or Chandalas. If you go and take their association, we will also bereft of all our spiritual knowledge, and there is no question of progress in Krishna consciousness. But His Divine Grace, He did not take it to heart, but He went to the Western countries. We all know that Srila Prabhupada reached America by Jaladuta ship. Like I was going through Srila Prabhupada Leelamrut, and it was so nectarian reading a biography of our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. It was so inspiring for me, and it inspired the whole world also. There were so many things to learn and implement in our daily life what Srila Prabhupada had faced. It was on 13th August 1965, Srila Prabhupada, with the help of Sumati Morarji, he boarded the Jaladuta ship. And everything was so comfortable. Prabhupada was given boarding pass, and the journey has started. So it was the ship, Jaladuta ship, stopped for a while in Ceylon. Ceylon is present day Sri Lanka. So those days, although almost all the neighboring countries are within India only, Pakistan, Burma, even Ceylon, and what are the other countries? Nepal, Bhutan. They are all part and parcel of India. Yudhishthir Maharaj, he used to rule whole world, keeping Hastinapura as the capital city. But due to Kali Yuga influence, they have been divided. Even the same family is getting divided. Why not the whole country? That is the influence of Kali Yuga. Fine. When Srila Prabhupada reached the Ceylon, and they had a short break there, and again they started their journey from Ceylon. So this is the exact time the ship is crossing the ocean, because we already heard that so many Brahmanas, they commented Prabhupada, if anybody crossing the ocean, he will be bereft of the spiritual knowledge. So the journey has started up Jaladuta ship. It was exactly on Janmashtami, 20th August 1965. The Jaladuta ship entered the ocean. It was moving on and on and on. And Srila Prabhupada, he took this Janmashtami so auspicious. Even in the ship also he celebrated Janmashtami. And he cooked his bhoga and he offered to Lord Krishna. And the same bhoga he distributed to all the crew members. Of course, he also had some discussion, Krishna Katha and philosophy with the crew members. They all felt very happy. They took prasadam from Srila Prabhupada. In that way, Prabhupada celebrated in the water, he celebrated Janmashtami. Because in the spiritual world, there is no Janmashtami, because Lord always appears there. Only in this material world, we are supposed to enjoy the Sri Krishna Janmashtami, Radhashtami, etc. So, coming back to the point, after 20th August, the immediate next day, you all know, what is it famous for after Janmashtami? Srila Prabhupada appearance day. But there was nobody. There was no Vyasa Puja celebrations. Prabhupada was there, and he was very quiet, and he was humble, and he carried Bhagavatam, and he was reading Bhagavatam, and he was fully meditating on the orders of his spiritual master, how I am going to fulfill. There where the actual problem has started. Now, the Jaladuta ship has just entered the Red Sea. The moment it entered the Red Sea, the whole climate has turned reverse. The tides are, very high waving tides, and the climate has completely got changed, and even there are thunders, there were rains, and everywhere Prabhupada could see only the water, and he could not able to see any land. I don't know how many of you made a journey by water. Is there anybody? Okay, Prabhu. Okay, one Prabhu, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So when we cannot able to see the land, then we got really scared, Right from the birth, we were in the land only. And we may be getting scared. Right? Same feeling got Prabhupada also. Prabhupada was meditating on Guru and Krishna, and he didn't know what to do. And even Prabhupada has got into the seasickness. Like seasickness troubles us a lot. Prabhupada did not have proper appetite, and he was feeling a kind of turning round head and a kind of giddiness and loss of appetite and so many physical discomforts for Prabhupada. And all of a sudden there was a chest pain developed, and Prabhupada was unable to tolerate. He was saying Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. He was remembering, and there was some small relief. And again, after a few hours, again this chest pain developed, and that chest pain was none other than heart attack for Srila Prabhupada. It was exactly happened on 23rd August 1965, and again 2 times Prabhupada got heart attacks, and he was unable to tolerate, and he was suffering, and all the time he was remembering his Guru and Krishna. After 2 days, Krishna appeared in his dream actually. On the second day night, Krishna appeared, and Prabhupada could able to see that Krishna with his various incarnations, he was rowing the boat, and Krishna was speaking. You don't get fear, having come all this way along in the ocean, and you continue your journey until you reach the destination. I am with you all the day, all the time. Then Prabhupada was very, very happy. He took it as he didn't take it as a defeat, though he got 2 times heart attack, and he got a kind of protection, a kind of confidence. Yes, the Supreme Lord appeared, and he is behind me, so that I can execute my spiritual master's order. Like that, Srila Prabhupada continued his journey. Then, as you know, in his Jaladuta diary also, he wrote one nice words. I will just read it out for you. It happened, Prabhupada wrote it on September 10th, 1965. We have just crossed September, we are in 2nd October now. So on September 10th, 1965, Prabhupada wrote, "Today the ship is flying very smoothly. I feel today better, but I am feeling separation from Sri Vrindavan and my lords, Sri Govinda Gopinath Radha Damodar. My only solace is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, in which I am tasting the nectarine of Lord Chaitanya's Leela. I have left Bharata Bhumi just to execute the order of Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati in pursuance of Lord Chaitanya's order." Now he gives one stunning statement. "I have no qualification, but I have taken up the risk just to carry out the order of His divine grace." And the last statement which Prabhupada has given is exactly matching with our today's words. What is it? "I depend fully on their mercy so far away from Vrindavan." Now Prabhupada is away from Vrindavan. Actually, he has got a kind of comfort zone, Prabhupada. That was, being in Vrindavan is his comfort zone. But just imagine a person who is very old, 60 plus years, 70 years old. How can he travel abroad and preach the cult of Krishna consciousness? It's a very tough time. And Prabhupada had taken very seriously. And because his chief aim of life to fulfill the desires of his spiritual master, so that he can go back to the Godhead. So going back to Godhead is not a cheap assignment. It is, it is the very toughest assignment. But whoever takes the orders of the spiritual master, it is possible. In the Jaladuta also, when Srila Prabhupada, we celebrated Janmashtami, the next day was his appearance day. His age was 69 at that time. Just imagine, he was just touching 70 years old, got 2 times heart attacks, but still he continued to fulfill the orders of his spiritual master. Then after reaching US, for the first 1 year, there wasn't any progress, nothing much happening. And Prabhupada was thinking, why did I come here? But I came alone, just with 40 rupees, with a small trunk, Bhagavatam set, one typewriter, something, but nothing happening here. And Prabhupada was feeling very bad, how to do, what to do. And later he learned that there should be a fixed place for preaching Krishna consciousness, where Harinam Kirtan will happen, and where Bhagavatam class will happen, where all the devotees come and sing and dance, just like in our Narsimha Giridhari Mandir. Like that, Prabhupada was envisioning in the America. When will it happen? And so later Prabhupada learned that he needs a fixed place for that. Then who will give me the land? Then when he was thinking like that, there was one person by name Hartman. This Hartman had owned a two-storied building in America. He wanted to sell it for 7 lakhs. So Prabhupada felt very happy, very good. But Prabhupada has got only 40 rupees, But how can he get 7 lakhs? So immediately he wrote a letter to India. He wrote to various people, and this Sumati Morarji, who helped him, also he wrote a letter. For your Balagopal, I am going to construct a wonderful temple in the USA, and please raise donations. And I also need some mrudangs and kartal. If you can ship them, I can able to do nice kirtan here, like that. So after writing letter, there was no response from Sumati Morarji. He also wrote many other famous people in India. He could not get any replies from them also. So in the meanwhile, there was one famous business person by name Parampada Singhania. You would have heard his name, Singhania family. We have no Tata, Birla, Hinduja, various other rich people. This Parampada Singhania, long back, they were very business tycoons. They settled in the US. And that man, one day he announced that I wanted to construct a huge temple by spending 50 lakhs rupees at that time in 19th century. And Prabhupada felt very happy, wonderful, okay. And I am here ready to execute your will. And now this Hartman is ready to sell for 7 lakhs. Maybe you can give 7 lakhs first as a first installment. I can pay it and we can get the property in our possession. Then we can start our Hare Krishna movement here. Then this Parampada Singhania said, okay, but I want to construct a temple which is very articulate and Vedic culture. It all should depict like this. How can I construct a temple in this 2-storied building? Then Prabhupada said, no. On that building, we can put one big gopura. On that gopura, you can very nicely depict this art and culture, Indian style, and you can do that. Then Parampada Singhania, he said, he was not willing. No, I cannot able to do that. Prabhupada did not close the door, but he kept it open. But this is why defeat after defeat for Prabhupada, nothing was happening. So Prabhupada was meditating on Guru and Krishna, how I can able to fulfill. I came all the way from India, but nothing is happening. Then Prabhupada remembered, he gave his books dealership. There is one company, Universal Book Depot in Bombay. So he wrote a letter to them saying that, you can distribute, as of now you have jurisdiction of my dealership only in Bombay. Now I am permitting you can distribute in entire Maharashtra, like other cities, Pune, Aurangabad and other cities. You can distribute all over India also. Distribute as many as possible. Please send me money as quickly as possible because I am planning a wonderful temple here. Then the Universal Book Depot replied, Oh Swamiji, nowadays people are not very much interested in reading scriptures like Gita and Bhagavatam. They are more into reading novels, puzzles and newspapers, etc. And not hardly any people are buying your books. And even we are thinking to withdraw your dealership. So this was another defeat for Srila Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada was again, struggling a lot. How I can able to distribute? Then again he approached that Hartman because he wanted to sell 7 lakhs rupees, that 2-storied building. So he went back and he was saying, see, anyway you have to pay tax for this building. I will pay the tax. In addition that I can give some small rent. Will it be okay for you so that we can run our Krishna consciousness movement here? Then the Hartman did not have any heart and he said, no, it may not be possible. Of course, Prabhupada did not close that door also. He kept it open with a large hope that Guru and Krishna will surely bestow me with their blessings. I can spread these glories of the holy name of the Lord. I came just here as an instrument in their hands. And so here, Prabhupada has got lot of tolerance here. And defeat after defeat is doing plan after plan. But in our life, if one defeat comes, that's all, we are gone. But defeat after defeat for us coming, we will leave Krishna consciousness also. Prabhu, sometime back I was chanting 32 rounds. Okay, now how many rounds? Not even one round I am chanting. And then what is your faith in Krishna and Guru? And like that, so many people left Iskcon. So this is not the thing we are supposed to do. We should read Prabhupada books. We should understand what is the message given by him. So then later what happened? When Prabhupada was in India, he gave Bhagavatam to the then Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri. You know Lal Bahadur Shastri? So he was very much impressed. So Lal Bahadur Shastri visit was there to the USA. And his schedule is actually from India to Russia to America to India back. That was the Prime Minister's schedule. And Prabhupada was waiting very eagerly. Yeah, now the Prime Minister is, my known person. At least I can ask some funds so that I can build this temple. Then unfortunately, Lal Bahadur Shastri, from India, he went to Russia, and in Russia, he died there itself. He could not come to America. And Prabhupada lost that hope also. There is another defeat. Then Prabhupada wrote a letter to Tirtha Maharaj, who is in India, and asked her to deliver the letter to the next Prime Minister. The next Prime Minister was Indira Gandhi. So Tirtha Maharaj, on behalf of Srila Prabhupada, went there and he was requesting donations from India. So Indira Gandhi went through the letter and she was concluding that, it looks like your Swamiji is doing very good. He is spreading the culture of India in the foreign country. Very nice. But as far as this donation is concerned, donation should come to India, not from India to go outside. And indirectly, she put a blockage, and that door was also stopped. So Prabhupada did not give up his hope. Still, he had so many hopes how he can able to achieve the Guru's order. And in the meanwhile, there was one person who wrote a letter to Srila Prabhupada, and his name was Mukti Brahmachari. And Prabhupada, can I come and serve you in the US? Prabhupada said, very nice. Your Guru is a disciple of, you are a disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I am also his disciple. So your Guru is my god brother. So you just take his permission and come. Can I come directly? No. It is an etiquette. You should take permission of your Guru and come. So this Mukti Brahmachari went and asked. Then the Guru said, it's long ago Prabhupada went to US and not much happening. It is simply waste of time. All the mlechas, mudas, stupids, rascals are there in the US. How can you make them Vaishnavas? It is not possible. But it is a waste of time, what I believe. You also don't go and waste your time, you stay back. So Mukti Brahmachari again wrote a letter to Prabhupada. Prabhupada received the letter and Prabhupada replied to him, I got your ridiculous letter and maybe I am failure in the beginning. But even Lord Nityananda also was failure because he was hit by Jagai and Madai and bleeding. It was also a failure. But later what happened? The Jagai and Madai got delivered. By the mercy of Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they got delivered and they became a wonderful preachers then. Isn't it? I am not a failure. Maybe it looks like a beginning, it is a failure. Then that was also another kind of defeat, a kind of challenge, and it's a type of risk for Prabhupada. Then later, Prabhupada was accommodated in a place where it's a very big hall, and the big hall was shared by two persons. Like one side is Mr. David, the other portion was shared by Srila Prabhupada. And this was very gentle in his nature. Even Srila Prabhupada wrote to his Indian friends saying that this David is very gentle man. Even I can give him initiation. He will be my first initiated disciple in the US. Like that, he wrote a letter also. But unfortunately what happened, one day there was a a huge cry and shout in the other side. Prabhupada came out and he saw in the other side of the hall. The so-called gentleman David, he had taken full of drugs. He had completely intoxicated himself. And his eyes went bloodshot. And even, he was ready to shoot Prabhupada also. Prabhupada got really scared. He took his trunk and he came out of the house. He was literally on the road. Prabhupada didn't know where to go, left or right. It was early in the morning, 5 a.m. And imagine if we ourselves were put in that situation. It's a chaotic. And Prabhupada did not lose his hopes. And he was remembering there was one couple who was attending Prabhupada class, Mike and John. So Prabhupada, somehow he could able to locate their place, and he went and he knocked at the door. And in front of, the door got opened, and Mike and John seeing that Prabhupada, they got really surprised. And somehow they are very happy also. If your Guru appears, won't you be happy? Say, Guru Maharaj has come to your house early in the morning, 4 a.m. Tuk tuk, hey, what are you doing? Haribol. Will you not be happy when Guru Maharaj come to your house? So like that, Guru Maharaj, Guru and his Guru, Srila Prabhupada, they entered there. Then this Mike and John felt very happy and they invited Prabhupada inside. At the same time, they felt also little ashamed because they were not married. This Mike and John, they were not married, but they were staying together. And they felt a kind of, discomfort. Somehow they allowed Prabhupada to be there. So later Prabhupada shifted to the storefront, you all know, 26 2nd Avenue, Matchless Gift, and where our real Iskcon movement has started from that house, and it became wonderful. Even till today, if you go there, and Srila Prabhupada on his road, on his hand, he has written Bhagavad Gita class, so and so timing, Wednesday, Saturday, he wrote it. Maybe you can see in the Google also. And in this way, Srila Prabhupada has got a lot of hope, implicit faith in Guru and Krishna. And in spite of all these defeats, and Prabhupada can able to tolerate, and he became victorious. So the point here we need to understand is, to achieve this Samam Dhunam, to go back to Godhead, it is not so easy task. We must serve our spiritual master. Like in the fifth canto, the summary which we have discussed in the beginning, the third point is that one. Serving the spiritual master is serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The same Srila Prabhupada has done here. So coming to the words, if he is a father instructing his sons, a spiritual master instructing his disciples, or a king instructing his citizens, he must instruct them as I have advised. As Rishabhadev has advised, all they have to preach like this. So father, spiritual master and king. So nowadays there are so many fathers, and it is going ulta in their case. The sons are not obeying the father, because father is bereft of spiritual knowledge. We need to check how many fathers are reading Gita Bhagavatam. We need to check how many gurus are chanting the holy name of the Lord. We need to check the so-called king, is he following the regulator principles. And there is a checklist, and if this checklist is fulfilled, then only he is called a real father and real guru and real king. Otherwise, he is not at all qualified. But if he is a real father, the Rishabhadev says, he must instruct his own son as I have advised in Gita, Bhagavatam, and also in the various scriptures the Lord Bhagavan Bhuvacha is there. While going through this section of series, I came across two verses in Srimad Bhagavatam 3:24-12. And this is where these two verses are exactly matching with this verse. I just like to share with all of you, which are very useful for us today's Bhagavatam class. This 3:24-12, this is a conversation between Lord Brahma and his son Kardama Muni. So Kardama Muni has done a wonderful fulfillment of his father. Now in reciprocation that Lord Brahma appeared, he is mentioning here, Brahma Vuvacha Tvaya me prachitistata kalpita nirvyalikataha janme sanchakre vakyam bhavan manada manayam. The translation goes like this. Lord Brahma said, my dear son Kardama, since you have completely accepted my instructions without duplicity, showing them proper respect, you have worshipped me properly. Whatever instructions you took from me, you have carried out, and thereby you have honored me. So in this way, Kardama Muni completely he satisfied his father Lord Brahma. Brahma in reciprocation, he appreciated the efforts of his son Kardama Muni. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada, at the end, he wrote one wonderful statement. What is that? To honor the spiritual master means to carry out his instructions word for word. I repeat, to honor the spiritual master means to carry out his instructions word for word. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya. The same. Don't think this Gurumukha Padma Vakya started from our Iskcon in Bangalore. No, it started right from Kardama Muni. From the millions of years back it started. So this point we are supposed to take. Then in the next verse 3:24-13, again Brahma continues. Yetavati eva sussusha karya pitari putrakai bhaddam iti anumanyeta Gauravena Gururvacha. Gauravera Gururvacha is very important. And here Lord Brahma says, sons ought to render service to their father exactly to this extent. How Kardama Muni has served Lord Brahma, the same way all the sons are supposed to execute and fulfill in the same way. One should obey the command of his father or spiritual master with due deference. Yes, sir. The same it is written by Srila Prabhupada. I repeat, one should obey the command of his father or spiritual master with due deference, saying, yes, sir. Spiritual master says, you chant 16 rounds. What do you say? Yes. Follow 4 regulator principles? Yes. Honor only prasadam? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Okay. So, in this way, we need to have a cross check. Now these two words very important, like Pitari and Guru. The son or a disciple should accept the words of spiritual master and father without hesitation. Now this whole para is talking about the hesitation only. Now afterwards we can know how we can come out of this hesitation. Whatever the father and the spiritual master order should be taken without argument. Yes, there should be no instance in which a disciple or the son says, this is not correct, I cannot carry out. When he says that, he is fallen. So especially the devotees, if the devotees, especially the initiated devotees, initiated, especially those who are preaching, means he is a Shiksha Guru, and his words should be taken to the complete extent. And there should not be any question, if father says, you go to Mangalarati today, and you should attend this Bhakti Vriksha, you should chant today, Ekadasi, more rounds you have to chant. Then the son cannot say, no, I cannot do, I have this work, I have that work. The son should not say. He should say, yes, sir. Okay. So, when he says, I cannot do, when the son says he cannot do, what happens to that person? Srila Prabhupada says in this purport, he is fallen, patita. He is fallen. That is the designation given by Srila Prabhupada. We should be, maybe the sons should be careful. And of course, we cannot neglect that I am not son, We are all sons of, our spiritual master, and we should also obey our spiritual master. Of course, there aren't any specific instructions for us, but for our Gurudev, there are so many personal instructions by Srila Prabhupada, and he made a big list of that, and daily he is meditating on that. Are we meditating, at least following? The standard instruction itself we are unable to follow. Chanting 16 and following 4 and coming to Mangalati Prabhu, very tough time, very difficult. No, this is what, we need to come out of our comfort zone. So, the father and the spiritual master are on the same platform because the spiritual master is the second father. The higher classes are called Dvija, twice born. Whenever there is a question of birth, there must be a father. The first birth is made possible by the actual father, and the second birth is made possible by the spiritual master. After initiation, Guru will become our father and Shastra become our mother. Sometimes the father and spiritual master may be the same man. Is there anybody? Spiritual master and father is the same in any instances? For one devotee in Bhagavatam, for him, spiritual master is the same person, father is also same person. Who is that? Okay. Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami, who is his father? Vasudev. And he is a seminal father, he is the same thing. But sometimes the father and the spiritual master may be the same man and sometimes are different men also. I also remember, even Dhritarashtra also had a kind of spiritual master. Who was he? He has not accepted as officially, but to some extent he accepted. Vidura. So when Duryodhana was born, and there was a chaotic condition happening on the earth, then Vidura sensed it and he came and told, see my dear brother, one fellow had born, if you do not kill him, he will devastate the whole world. Then Dhritarashtra out of affection, he did not kill. But result what happened? Draupadi Vastraparana and Pandav Vanvasa, all these chaos happened, He wanted to kill Pandavas, he tried in all the ways. Even in Bhagavad Gita introduction, Prabhupada says, 6 kinds of aggressors, all those things have been done. He has executed. So that time, Dhritarashtra did not hear Vidura, okay, chalo, he left. Then at the end also, after Kurukshetra war got over, and Dhritarashtra was still remaining in the palace, and he was eating the remnants of the Pandavas. Of course, Pandavas did not feel, they were the first class Vaishnavas, they respected. Even Yudhishthira Maharaj daily used to come morning, used to have darshan of Dhritarashtra, though he was a ill person, but he considered as one of fathers and he used to pay obeisances. He used to do all these things. And Vidura went for Tirtha Yatra and he came back and he still found Dhritarashtra in the palace. How much you are attached and you are a parasite. You are depending and still on the leftover remnants. Is it not shameful for you? Then it pierced his heart. Oh. Then he took little advice of Vidura and he left for Vanaprastha. So in this case, spiritual master is different. So then coming back to the point, sometimes the father, in any case, the order of the father and order of the spiritual master must be carried out without hesitation, with an immediate yes. There should be no argument. That is real service to the father and to the spiritual master. If anybody wants to do the real service, if any instruction coming from the Guru, we must immediately say, yes, there is a big wall. Your spiritual master says you jump from the wall. Will you jump or not? You have to jump. So that is the order. And you don't like laddu. Your Guru says you eat laddu. You don't eat? Yes, immediately you have to eat. And there is, if you do not do what Srila Prabhupada says here, you are fallen. You are fallen from your spiritual status. Now, in the same verse, one of the famous Vaishnava Acharya, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives one statement. The order of the spiritual master is the life and soul of the disciples. As a man cannot separate his life from his body, a disciple cannot separate the order of the spiritual master from his life. So note this point. If a disciple follows the instruction of the spiritual master in that way, he is sure to become perfect. This is confirmed in the Upanishads. The import of Vedic instruction is revealed automatically only to one who has implicit faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead and in his spiritual master. One may be materially considered an illiterate man, But if he has faith in the spiritual master as well as in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then the meaning of the scriptural revelation is immediately manifested before him. So we cannot forego the spiritual master instruction. We must immediately say yes for him. And here in the verse, it is found that without being angry, he should continue giving instructions, even if he is disciple or son or citizen, even though they are unable to follow. Like even Guru can able to give continuous instructions. And he say, for example, he has given a dozen instructions. Even if you are not following two of them, still he keeps on giving instructions. And you need to get up early in the morning, attend Mangalarti, attend Bhagavatam class, or go to Yatra, and you read the Prabhupada books, and Guru keeps on giving, and we are unable to do that. But here the point is, still the Guru is qualified to correct us. This is for our purification. So, Srila Prabhupada in the lecture, he says that it is the duty of the spiritual master not to be angry, because the disciple or the followers, they are fools. Sometimes they commit mistake, they do not obey, but the ruler, spiritual master, the government has to tolerate. That in the Sanskrit it is called Vimanvaya. Once Srila Prabhupada went to South Africa, and Prabhupada, he stayed in a place, our African, they are very good at stealing so many things. Chor log. So one day what happened, Srila Prabhupada dress was getting, dried, and one of them he stole it. And surprisingly, the person who stole the Prabhupada kurta or dhoti, he wore the same dhoti kurta and he was sitting and hearing Bhagavatam class by Prabhupada. So Prabhupada felt very pity on them. He did not feel any bad. He pitied. See, my own kurta is wearing and sitting here. How can you do that? So Prabhupada thought, though they may be stealing in nature, but they are innocent, ignorant. So in the verse it is mentioned, ignorant people also should not be stopped doing their work, but only thing, those activities to be Krishna centered, they have to make it. So like that, Prabhupada faced so many things. And Guru Maharaj, there are, now I just like to share a few anecdotes. This is related to our Guru Maharaj. One day, Guru Maharaj went to a foreign country where this official dhoti, kurta, tilak are not allowed. And the group of devotees, they were sitting, and Guru Maharaj was about to address them. And all these devotees, they are supposed to wear at least water tilak. And some of them, they wore. Water tilak means we cannot able to see it. But it was the Guru who can able to see it. You cannot cheat Guru, So Guru Maharaj sensed that one devotee did not wear even water tilak. So Guru Maharaj so merciful, he did not get angry as per these words. And he called that group leader, "Yeah, you come here." And he told in the ear that particular devotee, he did not wear water tilak, you go and tell him. See, so nicely Guru Maharaj dealt the case, So we should not misunderstand that Guru did not know anything. That's why daily in the morning we do the 10 offenses, we read, If you consider the spiritual master as an ordinary person, what is it? Is it a great thing, or it is an offense, aparad? We are not supposed to even think. Even the thought comes, we need to split the thought. We need to remove the thought. Otherwise we cannot, this mind is so stubborn, this is a foolish mind. It will say so many instructions. So we should never offend spiritual master in this way. In another incident, where Guru Maharaj was staying, one devotee came to Guru Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj was speaking to him personally. And he asked, how is your sadhana? How is your deity worship? Oh, deity worship? And he was slowly mentioning, as per my horoscope and as per my recent astrological analysis, I am not supposed to worship deities. I left the deities in the river. Imagine. He left the deities where? In the river. And you think Guru is supposed to go and kick that fellow, We may get that anger. But Guru does not get anger. Guru Maharaj He heard that. He thought for a while. He controlled himself and immediately he called the caretakers and told them, after he left, Guru Maharaj told them, you take complete care of him. You completely educate him. Like that, Guru Maharaj gave the instructions. Now you see the Guru's mercy. Had it been any other material Guru, he would have gone and kicked him. So this was the thing. So we should be very careful in our dealing with the Guru. So sadhu speech actually, Guru or sadhu speech is not palatable. And sadhu speech or Vaishnava speech is not for entertainment or laughing and clapping, not for that person. A person who is sitting and giving Bhagavatam class or Gita class, and he should represent the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is a Vyasasan. And when he speak, his words should penetrate and it should cut the knots of the ignorance of the people who assembled here. And that is the real Shastric injection. So I came across, I heard one lecture by His Grace Rasanand Prabhu, who is the disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Charsa Maharaj. You all remember Maharaj came here and he had an elaborated kirtan. We also demanded, Maharaj, please continue kirtan. Maharaj mercifully continued the kirtan and we were very happy. So this disciple, one day what happened, Maharaj was on a foreign tour. Maharaj came to India in Maharashtra, Ujjain. The disciples have nicely arranged so many facilities for Maharaj. Like, the hall was nicely, facilitated, his bedroom and his bathroom, everything was nice. So Maharaj visited that place some time back and he found it was not okay. But this time when Maharaj visited, everything arranged very nicely. So Maharaj appreciated, very nice. Now, these disciples, they were so busy in arranging so many facilities for Maharaj, but they forgot to arrange prasadam. Then Maharaj said, all the way I traveled from the plane, 2 flights I need to change and I am really tired. Now I want to honor prasadam. The word prasadam, it reaches, they got remembered, we arranged so many things, where is prasadam for Maharaj? Then they were, they pulled up their dhoti and they were running here and there, and somehow they got some khichdi and they brought it, and that was also too salty. And Maharaj felt very bad and he said, pack all my luggage, I am leaving. Maharaj, no, just pack it. So Maharaj left that place, and after 2 days he called those devotees and he was asking, why I left, Actually, I would like to invite my God brothers to this place. And if you treat all my God brothers like in this way, not giving prasadam, then what is the use? It is a shame. And it is not worthy. That's why I left. To teach you a lesson, I left. So they were all really, taken back, and they really appreciated how Guru is nicely reciprocating without getting angry on them. In another instant, with the same Bhakti Charsa Maharaj, one disciple, he wanted to take him to a shopping mall. And there is no U-turn board is there. Actually, that is the shortcut to the shopping mall. And when they were driving, Maharaj sensed it, and this disciple, he wanted to take Guru Maharaj very quickly to the shopping mall, and he was actually over enthusiastic. So, as soon as he took the U-turn, Maharaj asked him to stop, and he got down. And he took the following car and asked him to follow. Then he was, really surprised, what is this? Then next day, Maharaj called him and he was asking, you disciple look like so gentleman, and you are breaking the rules. And if some accident happens, the whole world blames on me. I am wearing a saffron dress, and whole world is watching all the saffron cloth people. And we should have proper discipline. And where there is no U-turn, you are taking U-turn. And this is against the traffic rules, Then he was taken back, and Maharaj actually corrected him. In this way, Guru is the one who can able to correct the person. And in other sense, we are supposed to keep all our problems or complaints on Guru's desk. And it is the Guru who can able to take proper prescription. It is devotee to devotee, case to case, and it is not with the same with everybody. And we are also jealous, why Prabhu, this particular devotee is very close to Maharaj, why am I always away? That means that is his package, this is your package. In any case, you got initiated by the same Guru, you know, and you got the same instructions, and this is how we need to understand and move ahead. Otherwise, it is a misunderstanding, and our mind is disturbed. And even, you know, few more minutes, can I continue? Okay. So, even Srila Prabhupada also chastised his disciples. Maybe I can share some incidents. Even spiritual master angry also, it is for our purification only. And a sincere disciple should understand that whatever angry, whatever Guru instructions, this is for my purification, it is for my correction. He should understand in that way. So once Srila Prabhupada, he was chastising Brahmananda Prabhu. And you know, Brahmananda Prabhu is very tall, very gigantic, an American body, just like a soldier type. And such a person, Prabhupada was firing, he was chastising. Along with him, two other sannyasis were also there. They did something which is not favorable for Prabhupada. And Prabhupada chastised, and they were simply looking at Prabhupada. And even after some time, they left the room, and they were standing outside the room. In the meanwhile, Prabhupada's sister, you know, Pishimaji, you know Pishima? Prabhupada's sister Pishima came to Prabhupada. She was witnessing all this incident. She came to Prabhupada. So, you became Bada Guru? You are such a sincere disciples came from America, and they are very nicely serving you. You are chastising them. What kind of Guru are you? And you think you are very great? So nobody can speak like this, because she has some family relationship. Pishima only can speak to him. Prabhupada was very grave, and he did not speak a single word. And she went on, you know, speaking and speaking for half an hour constantly. Because in such a way Prabhupada chastised and fired them. And why are you not speaking? I have been talking to you, no? Then Prabhupada was grave, he didn't speak anything. And Pishima came close to Prabhupada, and there were tears rolling down from Prabhupada's eyes. And Pishima was taken back, and Prabhupada started speaking. I know what I did. What I did is for their purification. And they are very sincere disciples. They have given their life and soul for my service, Krishna's service. I really appreciate that. Still, I want to make them perfect. And if I do not chastise them, if I do not find faults with them, if I do not correct them, and they will not have any perfection at all. So like that Prabhupada gave statement. Then Pishima paid Dandavat pranams, and she left the place. Like that, there are so many incidents happened, even in Prabhupada case, or in any Guru's place also. A spiritual, we cannot repay to our Guru. We think, you know, I have donated this much, I have done so much book distribution, and I have done so much Deepadan, so much you can say. But we are not repaying for our Guru. We can never repay to our Guru. But only thing, humbly, with a humble heart, we can serve Guru and his disciples. Because the Guru is the one who is going to give us the seed. Brahmanda Brahmite, Kona Bhagyavan Jiva, Guru Krishna Prasada Boy, Bhakti Lata Bij. That seed giver is the only Guru, nobody can able to give us. So I will end up with one small anecdote with Bhakti Charso Maharaj, another anecdote. There was one European Mataji came to India and she joined Iskcon. And Maharaj said, okay, you be in that Namahatta for some time, then we will see. So this Mataji went and she was not able to adjust with this Namahatta devotees. Then she came back and said, no, I cannot adjust. Then Maharaj said, okay, you join another Namahatta group. And like that she changed 3-4 Namahatta groups. Finally she came. This time Maharaj was very angry. How many groups you are changing? You are not, you are unable to adjust with any of the devotees. Then how could you adjust in spiritual world? Here in this, from every part of this material world, there are some Vaishnavas, they go back to the spiritual world, and in the spiritual world there is a huge group. You know, it is 75%. Vaikuntha Golaka is 75% and Bhuloka material world is only 25%. Who is majority? Devotees are majority. But here devotees are less. In material world we feel like that. But in the spiritual world they are majority. You cannot adjust with a small group of devotees. How can you adjust in the spiritual world? And like that, Maharaj chastised that Mataji. And later, she really got lessons and, she started serving Guru Maharaj very sincerely. So in this way, Guru is actually heavy in the sense. Everybody should follow Guru's instructions without saying no, but they have to say yes, sir, they have to say. Okay, so thank you very much. And I just read out the important points of this 5th chapter. It's a kind of a summary. Human beings should not work hard like dogs and hogs for our sense gratification. The human life is specially meant for the revival of our relationship with the Supreme Lord. And serving the Vaishnava means serving the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Okay, so today something special. Can somebody remember what is something special? 2nd October. Gandhi Jayanti. So I am just reading out one verse in Bhagavad Gita where Srila Prabhupada has highlights Gandhi's words, he highlights it. What is that? When Gandhi is saying, when doubts haunt me, when disappointments stare me in the face, and I see not one ray of hope on the horizon, I turn to Bhagavad Gita and find a verse to comfort me, and I immediately begin to smile in the midst of overwhelming sorrow. Those who meditate on the Gita will derive fresh joy and new meanings from it every day. Mahatma Gandhi. And our great Srila Prabhupada wrote a letter to him. And there is a few lines I will read out concludingly. What did Prabhupada write? Prabhupada mentioning, I tell you as a sincere friend that you must immediately retire from active politics. If you do not desire to die an inglorious death, you have 125 years to live as you have desired to live. But if you die an inglorious death, it is no worth. So Prabhupada had already warned Mahatma Gandhi. Even he invited you, join Hare Krishna movement, chant Hare Krishna, and read. Anyway, you are reading Bhagavad Gita, you read here and chant the holy name of the Lord and be happy. This was what Prabhupada did. But unfortunately, the letter did not reach Mahatma Gandhi. So thank you very much. If you have one or two questions, you are welcome. Any questions? Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gurudev ki jai, Hare Krishna. We have few announcements, please be seated. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Shri Gandhavika Giridhari Srila Mahaprabhu ki. Radhiji did not say yes, sir. That's what mistake he made. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We all knew that when Madhurapati Prabhu is giving the Bhagavatam chant, They say a devotee should have three qualities. Triple S. Anyone can say that? S, S, S. Sincere, sincere, serious, and strict. All the three qualities of Prabhuji had. So we knew that it's going to be an intense class. I'm sure many of you enjoyed. I'm sure all of you have enjoyed. A few more points which I had written down just to summarize. We need to convert our cheap aims to cheap aims. And he also gave us a tip how to get mercy of Giridhari. Just moved with the message of our Guru Maharaj. There was one fantastic Leelamrita. For those who have not read the Leelamrita today, I'm sure it will inspire us to pick up that book and read about Srila Prabhupada. Because it was not one failure which Prabhu said, there were a series of them. How many of us have got the ability to get up again and walk forward? Srila Prabhupada showed us that. And he had tolerance, hope. Amidst all this, he had the faith, intense faith that finally it's Guru Mukha Padma Vakya. And he also said that this was not from Iskcon, it is from billions of years, quoted scriptures. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for a wonderful class. We all are lucky always to hear from him, but today we are very happy. I'm sure many Radha Gopinath circle are very happy to see our Shiksha leader giving us a Bhagavatam class. Thank you. What is a way to thank him? We all know it. Yes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Prabhuji. Just a few announcements like Prabhu said. One is Ekadashi is near 6th October. And this time, Dwadasi break, please note, please, I'm sure the messages will come. It's a very short break. We need to be careful with our Dwadasi break this time. Also, Chaturmatha is going on. We are all, I'm sure, many